"Help!" yelled Clara. Her eyes watered. Her vision swam. "Somebody, help!" "Here!" shouted a boy's voice from somewhere far away. Clara and Marissa followed the voice through an open door. In the darkness, they saw a small square of light high above them, but there was no slide to reach it, just dirt and rubble. A teenager's face appeared in the opening. "Climb!" he yelled. "Hurry!" Clara scrambled up the pile, slipping backward and charging up, fighting her way towards the hazy square of light. As she reached the top, the boy reached out and helped her through. She collapsed onto an ornate rug, then ran over to the tall open windows and took several deep breaths of the clean and clear night air. Then Clara turned back to the room behind her. It was a lot smaller than the dining room she knew. A long table dominated the room, filled with heaping plates of food, including a large roasted pig in the center, an apple tucked in its mouth. On one wall was a large wooden frame, painted gold, with nothing in it. A roll of canvas, tattered at the edges, was lying on the floor beneath it. The door to the lobby was closed. Fingers of smoke curled up from the cracks beneath. The boy knelt by a square hole in the wall, helping Marissa out of the passage. Then he turned to face Clara. He had copper skin and thick black eyebrows. His curly black hair was cut close to the scalp. He wore a high frilly collar and a long blue coat that made him look like a palace guard from a fairy tale. In his hand was the square of wood that had covered the hole. It looked like he'd ripped it off the wall with his hands. "I heard your cry for help," he said. "Why were you in the wall?" "Long story," Marissa coughed as she grabbed a pewter water pitcher and drank from it. "Burn it all!" shouted an English voice from a distant part of the White House. "We gotta get out of here," Clara exclaimed. "The portrait," the teenager said, picking up the canvas roll and handing it to Clara. "You are in charge of its safekeeping. Mrs. Madison wants it preserved."